Let's get ready for the North Carolina real estate exam with 100 questions covering state-specific laws, principles, and practices you'll need to know. And don't miss what's happening in the bottom corner. It could be key to your exam prep. We'll tell you how in just a minute. Now let's get started.
Let's jump right in to North Carolina licensing requirements and procedures. North Carolina licensing requirements and procedures. What is the minimum age requirement to obtain a real estate license in North Carolina? Is it A, 16 years old, B, 18 years old, C, 21 years old, or D, 25 years old? The answer is B, 18 years old. In North Carolina, applicants must be at least 18 years old to qualify for a real estate license. This requirement ensures that all licensees are legally considered adults capable of entering contracts. Which of the following is a prerequisite for taking the North Carolina real estate licensing exam? Is it A, completion of a 75-hour pre-licensing course, B, submission of a personal statement, C, proof of high school graduation, or D, passing a background check? The answer is A, completion of a 75-hour pre-licensing course. Completion of a 75-hour pre-licensing course is mandatory before taking the North Carolina real estate licensing exam. This course covers essential knowledge needed for the exam.
Have you noticed the code in the bottom corner? Next time you're stumped, take that code to birdsy.ai for immediate help and a free study session with Birdsy, your personal AI study partner. Plus, you'll get access to hundreds of additional questions, helping you move closer to passing your exam with confidence. The next time you're feeling unsure or stuck, give it a try.
What is the consequence of failing to renew a North Carolina real estate license by the deadline? Is it A, license is permanently revoked, B, license is suspended for 6 months, C, license remains active without penalty, or D, license becomes inactive? The answer is D, license becomes inactive. If a North Carolina real estate license is not renewed by June 30th, it becomes inactive. To reactivate, licensees must complete additional requirements, such as continuing education. Which of the following is required for a non-resident to obtain a North Carolina real estate license? Is it A, proof of residency in North Carolina, B, consent to service of process form, C, a North Carolina driver's license, or D, a letter of recommendation from a North Carolina broker? The answer is B, consent to service of process form. Non-residents must meet the same educational and examination requirements as residents, and they need to file a consent to service of process form to obtain a North Carolina license. Continuing education requirements. What is the minimum number of continuing education hours required annually for a real estate licensee in North Carolina? Is it A, 6 hours, B, 8 hours, C, 10 hours, or D, 12 hours? The answer is B, 8 hours. North Carolina requires real estate licensees to complete a minimum of 8 hours of continuing education each year to maintain their licenses. This ensures they stay updated on industry practices and regulations. Which of the following courses is mandatory as part of the continuing education requirements for real estate licensees in North Carolina? Is it A, General Update Course, B, Advanced Negotiation Skills, C, Real Estate Marketing Strategies, or D, Property Management Essentials? The answer is A, General Update Course. The North Carolina Real Estate Commission mandates the General Update Course as part of the continuing education requirements, ensuring licensees are informed about the latest changes in laws and practices. If a North Carolina real estate licensee fails to complete their continuing education by the deadline, what is the immediate consequence? Is it A, license revocation, B, monetary fine. C, license becomes inactive. Or D, mandatory retake of licensing exam. The answer is C, license becomes inactive. Failing to complete continuing education by the deadline results in the license becoming inactive. The licensee must complete the required education to reactivate it. Which of the following statements is true regarding the elective courses for continuing education in North Carolina? Is it A, elective courses are not required? B, elective courses allow customization of learning? C, elective courses must be the same for all licensees? Or D, elective courses are only for new licensees? The answer is B, elective courses allow customization of learning. Licensees in North Carolina must complete elective courses as part of their continuing education, allowing them to choose topics that enhance their skills and knowledge beyond the mandatory update course. North Carolina-specific exam structure and content. What is the minimum age requirement to apply for a real estate license in North Carolina? Is it A, 18 years old, B, 19 years old, C, 20 years old, or D, 21 years old? The answer is A, 18 years old. In North Carolina, applicants must be at least 18 years old to apply for a real estate license. This requirement ensures that applicants are legally adults, capable of entering into binding contracts. How many hours of pre-licensing education are required in North Carolina to qualify for the real estate exam? Is it A, 60 hours, B, 70 hours, C, 75 hours, or D, 80 hours? The answer is C, 75 hours. North Carolina mandates 75 hours of pre-licensing education. This ensures that applicants have adequate foundational knowledge before taking the licensing exam. Which organization administers the real estate licensing exam in North Carolina? Is it A, National Association of Realtors, B, North Carolina Real Estate Commission, C, Real Estate Educators Association, or D, North Carolina Department of Commerce? The answer is B, North Carolina Real Estate Commission. The North Carolina Real Estate Commission administers the licensing exam. This body is responsible for setting standards and ensuring compliance with state regulations. What is the passing score required on the North Carolina Real Estate Licensing exam? Is it A, 60%, B, 65%, C, 70%, or D, 75%? The answer is D, 75%. To pass the North Carolina Real Estate Licensing exam, candidates must score at least 75%. This ensures that licensees have a sufficient understanding of the necessary material.
If you're finding this helpful, please take a minute to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, useful tips, and complimentary study sessions with Birdsy.
Let's continue with a review of North Carolina real estate laws and regulations. North Carolina-specific fair housing laws. Which of the following is a protected class under North Carolina's fair housing laws, but not explicitly under federal law? Is it A, race, B, sexual orientation, C, religion, or D, national origin? The answer is B, sexual orientation. North Carolina's fair housing laws include additional protections beyond federal law, such as for sexual orientation. This reflects the state's commitment to preventing discrimination in housing. What is the maximum penalty for a first-time violation of North Carolina's fair housing laws? Is it A, $5,000, B, $7,500, C, $10,000, or D, $15,000? The answer is C, $10,000. The maximum penalty for a first-time violation of North Carolina's fair housing laws is $10,000. This penalty serves as a deterrent against discrimination in housing practices. In North Carolina, which agency is primarily responsible for enforcing fair housing laws? Is it A, North Carolina Human Relations Commission, B, North Carolina Real Estate Commission, C, North Carolina Department of Justice, or D, North Carolina Department of Housing? The answer is A, North Carolina Human Relations Commission. The North Carolina Human Relations Commission is tasked with enforcing state fair housing laws, ensuring compliance, and investigating complaints of discrimination in housing. Which scenario is considered discriminatory under North Carolina's fair housing laws? Is it A, charging higher rent for a corner apartment, B, offering discounts to long-term tenants, C, requiring a security deposit, or D, refusing to rent to a family with children? The answer is D, refusing to rent to a family with children. Refusing to rent to a family with children is considered discrimination based on familial status, which is prohibited under both federal and North Carolina fair housing laws. How long does a person have to file a fair housing complaint with the North Carolina Human Relations Commission? Is it A, 1 year, B, 6 months, C, 2 years, or D, 3 months? The answer is A, 1 year. A complaint must be filed within 1 year of the alleged discriminatory act. This timeframe allows for timely investigations and resolutions of complaints. Which of the following actions is prohibited under North Carolina's fair housing laws when selling a home? Is it A, offering a lower price to a family with children, B, providing a discount for veterans, C, refusing to sell based on the buyer's national origin, or D, setting a higher price for investors? The answer is C, refusing to sell based on the buyer's national origin. Refusing to sell a home based on a person's race, color, religion, sex, national origin, disability, or familial status is a violation of both federal and North Carolina fair housing laws. North Carolina specific contract requirements. What is required for a valid real estate contract under North Carolina law? Is it A, a verbal agreement, B, a witness signature, C, consideration, or D, a notarized document? The answer is C, consideration. A valid real estate contract in North Carolina must include competent parties, mutual consent, a lawful object, and consideration. These elements ensure that the contract is legally enforceable. In North Carolina, which party is typically responsible for paying the excise tax on real estate transactions? Is it A, the buyer, B, the seller, C, the real estate agent, or D, the lender? The answer is B, the seller. The seller generally pays the excise tax in North Carolina, which is based on the sales price of the property. This tax is a form of revenue for the state. Which of the following is a requirement for a deed to be recorded in North Carolina? Is it A, notarization, B, a witness signature, C, a property survey, or D, a title insurance policy? The answer is A, notarization. For a deed to be recorded in North Carolina, it must be acknowledged by the grantor before a notary public. This ensures the document's authenticity and proper execution. What is the purpose of the due diligence fee in North Carolina real estate contracts? Is it A, to compensate the seller for taking the property off the market, B, to cover the cost of home inspections, C, to pay for the buyer's closing costs, or D, to ensure the buyer's mortgage approval? The answer is A, to compensate the seller for taking the property off the market. The due diligence fee compensates the seller for taking the property off the market during the buyer's investigation period. It is non-refundable but credited towards the purchase price if the sale closes. Overview of North Carolina real estate statutes Which entity is responsible for enforcing real estate licensing laws in North Carolina? Is it A, North Carolina Department of Revenue, B, North Carolina Real Estate Commission, C, North Carolina Association of Realtors, or D, North Carolina State Bar? The answer is B, North Carolina Real Estate Commission. The North Carolina Real Estate Commission is tasked with enforcing real estate licensing laws to protect the public interest. They ensure compliance with state statutes and regulations governing real estate practice. What is the primary purpose of the North Carolina Real Estate License Law? Is it A, to protect the public from unqualified real estate agents, B, to increase property tax revenue, C, to regulate the housing market prices, or D, to standardize real estate contracts? The answer is A, to protect the public from unqualified real estate agents. The primary goal of the North Carolina Real Estate License Law is to protect the public from unethical or incompetent real estate practices by ensuring that only qualified individuals are licensed. How often must a North Carolina real estate license be renewed? Is it A, every 6 months, B, every 2 years, C, every year, or D, every 5 years? The answer is C, every year. In North Carolina, real estate licenses must be renewed annually. Licensees must complete continuing education requirements to maintain their license in good standing. What is required to legally practice real estate in North Carolina? Is it A, a college degree in real estate, B, a valid real estate license, C, membership in a real estate association, or D, an internship with a licensed broker? The answer is B, a valid real estate license. To legally practice real estate in North Carolina, individuals must obtain a valid real estate license from the North Carolina Real Estate Commission, ensuring they meet educational and ethical standards. Now let's review North Carolina property ownership and land use. Types of property ownership, e.g. fee simple, leasehold, joint tenancy. What is the primary characteristic of a fee simple estate in North Carolina? Is it A, it is limited to a specific term of years, B, it includes the right to use, sell, or lease the property indefinitely, C, it automatically reverts to the original owner after the owner's death, or D, it requires the owner to pay a ground rent? The answer is B, it includes the right to use, sell, or lease the property indefinitely. A fee simple estate is the most complete form of ownership and includes the right to use, sell, or lease the property indefinitely. It is the highest interest in real property recognized by law. In a joint tenancy in North Carolina, what happens when one owner dies? Is it A, the deceased owner's share passes to the surviving joint tenants, B, the deceased owner's share is distributed according to their will, C, the deceased owner's share is transferred to the state, or D, the deceased owner's share is sold to the highest bidder? The answer is A, the deceased owner's share passes to the surviving joint tenants. In a joint tenancy, the right of survivorship means that the deceased owner's share automatically passes to the surviving joint tenants, not through a will or probate. How does a leasehold estate differ from a fee simple estate in North Carolina? Is it A, leasehold estates provide indefinite ownership, B, leasehold estates allow for ownership transfer through a will, C, leasehold estates require payment of property taxes, or D, leasehold estates grant the right to use property for a specific term? The answer is D, leasehold estates grant the right to use property for a specific term. A leasehold estate grants the right to use and occupy property for a specified period, unlike a fee simple estate, which provides indefinite ownership rights. What distinguishes tenancy in common from joint tenancy in North Carolina? Is it A, tenancy in common includes the right of survivorship, B. Tenancy in common requires equal ownership shares. C. Tenancy in common allows shares to be inherited by heirs. Or D. Tenancy in common is automatically converted to joint tenancy upon sale. The answer is C. Tenancy in common allows shares to be inherited by heirs. Tenancy in common allows co-owners to have unequal shares and does not include the right of survivorship. Each owner's share can be passed to heirs.
Stuck on a question? Just think of the Birdsy link in the description as your friendly neighborhood superhero, swooping in to save the day with answers. Feel free to explore it now and return to continue. Simply hit pause, and we'll be waiting when you get back.
Public versus private land use controls. What is a key difference between public and private land use controls in North Carolina? Is it A. Public controls are voluntary, private controls are mandatory? B. Private controls are enforced by local government? C. Public controls are government-imposed, private controls are agreement-based? Or D. Both are enforced by federal agencies? The answer is C. Public controls are government-imposed, private controls are agreement-based. Public land use controls are imposed by government entities and include zoning laws, while private land use controls are typically established by private agreements, such as restrictive covenants. Which of the following is an example of a public land use control in North Carolina? Is it A. Restrictive covenants, B. Zoning laws, C. Homeowners association rules, or D. Lease agreements? The answer is B. Zoning laws. Zoning laws are public land use controls established by local government to regulate land use and development, ensuring orderly growth and compatibility of land uses. In North Carolina, what is the primary purpose of zoning regulations? Is it A. To segregate incompatible land uses, B. To increase property taxes, C. To enforce building codes, or D. To allocate government funding? The answer is A. To segregate incompatible land uses. Zoning regulations aim to ensure the orderly development of communities by segregating incompatible land uses, thus maintaining property values and enhancing quality of life. Which entity typically enforces private land use controls in North Carolina? Is it A. State government, B. County zoning board, C. Federal agencies, or D. Homeowners associations? The answer is D. Homeowners associations. Private land use controls, such as restrictive covenants, are usually enforced by homeowners associations or individual property owners, ensuring adherence to agreed-upon restrictions. Land use and zoning laws. What is the primary purpose of zoning laws in North Carolina? Is it A. To increase property taxes, B. To regulate land use and ensure orderly development, C. To provide public transportation, or D. To preserve historic buildings? The answer is B. To regulate land use and ensure orderly development. Zoning laws in North Carolina are designed to regulate land use to ensure orderly development and protect public health, safety, and welfare. They help separate residential, commercial, and industrial areas. Which of the following is a characteristic of a non-conforming use in North Carolina zoning? Is it A. The use existed before current zoning laws were enacted, B. The use must be discontinued immediately, C. The use requires a new zoning permit, or D. The use is always illegal? The answer is A. The use existed before current zoning laws were enacted. A non-conforming use is a property use that existed before the current zoning laws were enacted, allowing it to continue despite not complying with new regulations. In North Carolina, what is a variance in the context of zoning laws? Is it A. A complete rezoning of a property, B. A temporary permit for construction, C. An exception to zoning requirements granted due to unique circumstances, Or D, a legal dispute over property boundaries? The answer is C, an exception to zoning requirements granted due to unique circumstances. A variance is a legal exception granted by a zoning board, allowing a property owner to deviate from specific zoning requirements due to unique circumstances without altering the zoning ordinance. What is the role of a comprehensive plan in North Carolina's land use planning? Is it A, to enforce zoning laws, B, to increase property values, C, to allocate funds for infrastructure, or D, to guide future growth and development? The answer is D, to guide future growth and development. A comprehensive plan serves as a guide for future growth and development, outlining long-term goals and policies for land use, housing, transportation, and community facilities. Condominiums and HOAs. What is a key responsibility of a homeowners association in a North Carolina condominium community? Is it A, managing individual unit interiors, B, setting property tax rates, C, maintaining common areas, or D, providing individual insurance for unit owners? The answer is C, maintaining common areas. HOAs are responsible for managing common areas and ensuring community rules are followed. This includes maintenance and repairs, which are crucial for preserving property value and ensuring safety. In North Carolina, what document outlines the rights and responsibilities of condominium owners and their association? Is it A, B, Declaration of Condominium, C, Covenants, Conditions, and Restrictions, CC&Rs, or D, Proprietary Lease? The answer is B, Declaration of Condominium. The Declaration of Condominium is a legal document that details the rights and responsibilities of owners and the HOA, including rules for use and maintenance of common areas. Which of the following is a true statement about assessments in North Carolina condominiums? Is it A, they are used for common area maintenance, B, they are voluntary contributions, C, they are only paid when a unit is sold, or D, they are refunded if not used? The answer is A, they are used for common area maintenance. Condo owners pay assessments for the maintenance of common areas. These fees are crucial for the upkeep of shared spaces and amenities, ensuring a well-maintained environment. What is the primary purpose of a reserve fund in a North Carolina condominium association? Is it A, to pay daily operational expenses, B, to distribute profits to owners, C, to invest in new amenities, or D, to cover major repairs and replacements? The answer is D, to cover major repairs and replacements. A reserve fund is essential for covering major repairs and replacements, such as roofs or elevators. It helps prevent the need for special assessments or loans. Environmental issues. Which of the following is a common restriction placed on property use in North Carolina to protect the environment? Is it A, zoning ordinances, B, conservation easements, C, eminent domain, or D, building codes? The answer is B, conservation easements. Conservation easements are legal agreements that permanently limit uses of the land in order to protect its conservation values. They are commonly used in North Carolina to preserve natural resources. What is the primary purpose of the North Carolina Sedimentation Pollution Control Act? Is it A, to regulate air quality, B, to control urban sprawl, C, to prevent sedimentation in waterways, or D, to manage coastal development? The answer is C, to prevent sedimentation in waterways. The Act aims to prevent sedimentation from construction sites from polluting waterways, thus protecting water quality and aquatic ecosystems in North Carolina. In North Carolina, what is a key benefit of a property being designated as a brownfield site? Is it A, liability protection for developers, B, tax exemptions for property owners, C. Guaranteed state funding for cleanup. Or D. Immediate increase in property value. The answer is A. Liability protection for developers. Brownfield designation can provide liability protection for developers, encouraging the cleanup and reuse of contaminated properties which might otherwise remain underutilized. Which agency is primarily responsible for enforcing environmental regulations in North Carolina? Is it A. North Carolina Department of Agriculture, B. North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission, C. North Carolina Department of Transportation, or D. North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality? The answer is D. North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality. The North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality oversees the implementation and enforcement of environmental regulations in the state, ensuring compliance with state and federal laws. Let's continue with North Carolina agency law and ethics. Agency relationship laws. What is the primary duty of a real estate agent under North Carolina agency law? Is it A. to maximize their commission, B. to disclose all offers to the seller, C. to act in the best interests of their client, or D. to ensure all paperwork is completed? The answer is C. to act in the best interests of their client. The primary duty of a real estate agent in North Carolina is to act in the best interests of their client, ensuring loyalty and confidentiality while providing competent and diligent service. Which of the following is a requirement for establishing an agency relationship in North Carolina? Is it A. a written agreement, B. a verbal agreement, C. a handshake, or D. an email confirmation? The answer is A. a written agreement. An agency relationship in North Carolina requires a written agreement, particularly for exclusive representation, to clearly outline the duties and responsibilities of both parties. In North Carolina, when must a real estate agent disclose their agency status to a prospective buyer? Is it A. at the closing of the transaction, B. at first substantial contact, C. after an offer is made, or D. when showing the first property? The answer is B. at first substantial contact. North Carolina law requires agents to disclose their agency status at first substantial contact to ensure transparency and informed decision-making by the buyer. What is dual agency in the context of North Carolina real estate? Is it A. an agent representing multiple buyers, B. an agent working with multiple sellers, C. an agent representing a buyer and a renter, or D. an agent representing both buyer and seller? The answer is D. an agent representing both buyer and seller. Dual agency occurs when one real estate agent or firm represents both the buyer and the seller in the same transaction, requiring written consent from both parties to avoid conflicts of interest.
Notice the code in the corner? When you're stumped by a question, enter it at birdsy.ai for immediate help. Enjoy complimentary study sessions and access to hundreds of additional questions to help you pass your exam with confidence.
Fiduciary duties and client representation. What fiduciary duty requires a North Carolina real estate agent to act in the best interests of their client, even above their own interests? Is it A. duty of loyalty, B. duty of obedience, C. duty of disclosure, or D. duty of accounting? The answer is A. duty of loyalty. The duty of loyalty obligates agents to prioritize their clients' interests above their own, ensuring no conflicts of interest. This is crucial for building trust and maintaining ethical standards in client representation. Which fiduciary duty obliges a North Carolina real estate agent to keep a client's personal and financial information confidential? Is it A. duty of loyalty, B. duty of disclosure, C. duty of confidentiality, or D. duty of reasonable care? The answer is C, duty of confidentiality. The duty of confidentiality requires agents to protect sensitive client information, fostering trust and preventing unauthorized disclosure that could harm the client or affect negotiations. In North Carolina, what is the primary responsibility of an agent under the duty of obedience? Is it A, to prioritize the agent's own interests, B, to follow all lawful instructions from the client, C, to disclose all personal information of the client, or D, to act independently of the client's wishes? The answer is B, to follow all lawful instructions from the client. The duty of obedience requires agents to follow lawful instructions from their clients, ensuring that the client's wishes are respected and implemented within the bounds of legality. Which duty requires a North Carolina real estate agent to disclose all known material facts to their client? Is it A, duty of loyalty, B, duty of confidentiality, C, duty of obedience, or D, duty of disclosure? The answer is D, duty of disclosure. The duty of disclosure mandates agents to inform clients about all material facts that could influence their decisions, ensuring clients have the necessary information to make informed choices. North Carolina Ethics Guidelines and Enforcement. What is the primary purpose of the North Carolina Real Estate Commission's Code of Ethics? Is it A, to increase real estate sales, B, to promote ethical conduct and integrity, C, to regulate commission rates, or D, to establish licensing requirements? The answer is B, to promote ethical conduct and integrity. The Code of Ethics aims to ensure that real estate professionals adhere to high ethical standards, fostering trust and integrity in all real estate transactions. Which of the following actions would likely result in disciplinary action under North Carolina's ethics guidelines? Is it A, providing a client with market analysis, B, attending continuing education courses, C, failing to disclose a conflict of interest, or D, negotiating a lower commission rate? The answer is C, failing to disclose a conflict of interest. Failing to disclose a conflict of interest compromises the integrity of the transaction and violates ethical guidelines, leading to potential disciplinary action by the Commission. Under North Carolina ethics guidelines, how should a real estate agent handle confidential client information? Is it A, keep it confidential unless consent is given, B, share it with other agents in the office, C, use it for personal gain, or D, disclose it to any interested party? The answer is A, keep it confidential unless consent is given. Confidential client information must be protected and not disclosed without the client's consent, ensuring trust and adherence to ethical standards. What is the responsibility of a real estate agent regarding the disclosure of material facts in North Carolina? Is it A, only disclose if asked by the client, B, disclose only to the buyer, C, keep them confidential to protect the client, or D, disclose all known material facts to all parties? The answer is D, disclose all known material facts to all parties. Agents must disclose all known material facts to all parties involved in a transaction to maintain transparency and ethical standards in real estate dealings. Now let's review North Carolina property valuation. Basic principles of property valuation. Which principle of property valuation is concerned with the idea that property value is influenced by the anticipation of future benefits? Is it A, principle of substitution, B, principle of change, C, principle of anticipation, or D, principle of contribution? The answer is C, principle of anticipation. The principle of anticipation states that property value is based on the expected future benefits, such as income or appreciation, that ownership will bring. What does the principle of conformity suggest about property value? Is it A, properties should be unique to maximize value? B, properties should be similar to maximize value? C, properties should be the largest in the area? Or D, properties should be the most expensive in the area? The answer is B, properties should be similar to maximize value. The principle of conformity suggests that property values tend to be higher when properties in an area are similar in style, size, and function. How does the principle of highest and best use affect property valuation? Is it A, it identifies the most profitable legal use of a property? B, it emphasizes the historical use of a property? C, it requires properties to be used for residential purposes only? Or D, it suggests properties should remain in their original state? The answer is A, it identifies the most profitable legal use of a property. The principle of highest and best use determines the most profitable legal use of a property, which maximizes its value. This use must be physically possible and financially feasible. What role does the principle of substitution play in property valuation? Is it A, it suggests that newer properties have higher value? B, it focuses on the unique features of a property? C, it emphasizes the historical significance of a property? Or D, it sets an upper limit on value based on similar properties? The answer is D, it sets an upper limit on value based on similar properties. The principle of substitution states that a property's value is influenced by the cost of acquiring an equally desirable substitute property, setting an upper limit on value.
Don't forget to comment below with your tips, challenges, and thoughts on exam preparation. Your experiences can make a big difference for others.
Sales comparison, cost, and income approaches. What is the primary method used in the sales comparison approach to determine the value of a property? Is it A, analyzing recent sales of similar properties? B, calculating replacement cost minus depreciation? C, projecting future income? Or D, assessing the property's historical value? The answer is A, analyzing recent sales of similar properties. The sales comparison approach involves analyzing recent sales of similar properties to estimate the value of a subject property. This method relies on market data and is commonly used for residential properties. In the cost approach, what does the term depreciation refer to? Is it A, increase in property value over time? B, reduction in value due to wear and tear? C, cost of building materials? Or D, market fluctuations? The answer is B, reduction in value due to wear and tear. Depreciation in the cost approach accounts for the reduction in value due to factors like physical wear and tear, functional obsolescence, and external influences. It is subtracted from the replacement cost. Which factor is crucial when using the income approach for property valuation? Is it A, historical sales data? B, construction costs? C, capitalization rate? Or D, property's age? The answer is C, capitalization rate. The capitalization rate is vital in the income approach as it converts net operating income into an estimate of property value. It reflects the investor's required rate of return. How does the sales comparison approach adjust for differences between properties? Is it A, adjusting for differences in features and conditions? B, using average market trends? C, calculating construction costs? Or D, projecting future income potential? The answer is A, adjusting for differences in features and conditions. Adjustments in the sales comparison approach are made to account for differences in features, location, and conditions between the subject property and comparables to ensure an accurate valuation. Let's continue with North Carolina real estate financing. Mortgage loans and financing options. What is the primary purpose of a deed of trust in North Carolina mortgage transactions? Is it A, to secure the loan by holding the title until repayment? B, to provide insurance against property damage? C, to determine property tax obligations? Or D, to establish the fair market value of the property? The answer is A, to secure the loan by holding the title until repayment. A deed of trust in North Carolina serves as a security instrument that involves three parties: the borrower, the lender, and the trustee. It allows the trustee to hold the title until the loan is paid off. Which type of mortgage allows for the adjustment of interest rates in North Carolina? Is it A, fixed rate mortgage, B, balloon mortgage, C, adjustable rate mortgage, or D, reverse mortgage? The answer is C, adjustable rate mortgage. An adjustable rate mortgage features an interest rate that may change periodically based on an index, allowing for potential adjustments in the monthly payment amount. What is a characteristic of a VA loan in North Carolina? Is it A, requires private mortgage insurance, B, available to eligible veterans with no down payment, C, available only to first-time homebuyers, or D, interest rates are higher than conventional loans? The answer is B, available to eligible veterans with no down payment. VA loans are backed by the Department of Veterans Affairs and offer benefits such as no down payment and no private mortgage insurance for eligible veterans and service members. In North Carolina, what is a distinguishing feature of a conventional loan? Is it A, guaranteed by the federal government, B, available only for rural properties, C, requires a government-issued insurance premium, or D, not insured by federal entities? The answer is D, not insured by federal entities. Conventional loans are not insured or guaranteed by the federal government, unlike FHA or VA loans. They often require private mortgage insurance if the down payment is less than 20%. Loan applications and approval processes. Which of the following is a requirement for a borrower to qualify for a conventional loan in North Carolina? Is it A, a credit score of at least 580, B, a credit score of at least 620, C, a credit score of at least 700, or D, a credit score of at least 640? The answer is B, a credit score of at least 620. A credit score of at least 620 is generally required for a borrower to qualify for a conventional loan in North Carolina. This is a standard threshold set by most lenders. What is the primary purpose of the loan estimate form in North Carolina's loan application process? Is it A, to provide borrowers with details about loan terms and costs, B, to finalize the terms of the loan agreement, C, to assess the borrower's creditworthiness, or D, to confirm the borrower's employment status? The answer is A, to provide borrowers with details about loan terms and costs. The loan estimate form provides borrowers with important details about the loan terms and estimated costs, helping them understand and compare loan offers from different lenders. In North Carolina, which document is used to verify a borrower's income during the loan application process? Is it A, credit report, B, loan estimate form, C, pay stubs, or D, title insurance? The answer is C, pay stub. Pay stubs are commonly used to verify a borrower's income, providing proof of earnings over a specific period, which helps lenders assess the borrower's ability to repay the loan. What is the role of the debt-to-income ratio in the loan approval process in North Carolina? Is it A, to determine the loan interest rate, B, to verify the borrower's employment, C, to assess property value, or D, to evaluate a borrower's ability to repay the loan? The answer is D, to evaluate a borrower's ability to repay the loan. The DTI ratio helps lenders evaluate a borrower's ability to manage monthly payments and repay debts. A lower DTI ratio indicates better financial health and a higher likelihood of loan approval. North Carolina mortgage disclosure requirements. What is the primary purpose of the North Carolina Mortgage Disclosure Act? Is it A, to regulate interest rates on mortgages, B, to limit the number of mortgages a lender can issue, C, to ensure consumers receive complete information about mortgage terms, or D, to provide tax incentives for first-time homebuyers? The answer is C, to ensure consumers receive complete information about mortgage terms. The North Carolina Mortgage Disclosure Act ensures that consumers receive complete and accurate information about the terms and costs of a mortgage, promoting transparency and protecting against predatory lending. Which document is required by North Carolina law to be provided to borrowers before closing a mortgage? Is it A, closing disclosure, B, good faith estimate, C, loan application, or D, credit report? The answer is A, closing disclosure. The closing disclosure is a key document that must be provided to borrowers at least 3 days before closing, detailing the final terms and costs of the mortgage. How many days in advance must the closing disclosure be delivered to the borrower in North Carolina? Is it A, 1 day, B, 3 days, C, 7 days, or D, 10 days? The answer is B, 3 days. The closing disclosure must be delivered at least 3 business days before closing, allowing borrowers time to review the final loan terms and costs. What information must be included in the North Carolina Mortgage Disclosure Statement? Is it A, borrower's credit score, B, property tax information, C, insurance requirements, or D, loan terms, interest rates, and fees? The answer is D, loan terms, interest rates, and fees. The statement must include loan terms, interest rates, fees, and any prepayment penalties, ensuring borrowers fully understand the costs and obligations of their mortgage.
If you're finding this helpful, please take a minute to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, useful tips, and complimentary study sessions with Birdsy.
North Carolina-specific loan programs. Which North Carolina-specific loan program is designed to assist first-time homebuyers with down payment assistance? Is it A, North Carolina Home Equity Loan, B, North Carolina Home Advantage Mortgage, C, North Carolina Rural Home Loan, or D, North Carolina Veterans Home Loan? The answer is B, North Carolina Home Advantage Mortgage. The North Carolina Home Advantage Mortgage Program provides down payment assistance to first-time homebuyers, making it easier for them to afford a home in North Carolina. What is a key benefit of the Community Partners Loan Pool program in North Carolina? Is it A, provides refinancing options, B, targets high-income buyers, C, offers affordable mortgage options, or D, focuses on commercial properties? The answer is C, offers affordable mortgage options. The Community Partners Loan Pool provides affordable mortgage options for low-income families, assisting them in achieving homeownership by reducing financial barriers. Which North Carolina loan program is specifically designed to aid teachers, law enforcement officers, and firefighters in purchasing a home? Is it A, North Carolina First Home Advantage Down Payment, B, North Carolina Housing Trust Fund, C, North Carolina Mortgage Credit Certificate, or D, North Carolina Rural Housing Loan? The answer is A, North Carolina First Home Advantage Down Payment. The North Carolina First Home Advantage Down Payment Program offers assistance to community service professionals, helping them purchase homes by providing down payment and closing cost assistance. What distinguishes the North Carolina Home Advantage Tax Credit Program from other loan programs? Is it A, provides direct cash grants, B, targets only urban areas, C, offers lower interest rates, or D, offers a mortgage credit certificate? The answer is D, offers a mortgage credit certificate. The North Carolina Home Advantage Tax Credit Program offers a mortgage credit certificate, allowing eligible homeowners to claim a federal tax credit, reducing their tax liability. North Carolina Housing Finance Agency. What is the primary purpose of the North Carolina Housing Finance Agency? Is it A, to provide affordable housing opportunities for low and moderate income residents, B, to regulate mortgage rates across North Carolina, C, to manage public housing projects in urban areas, or D, to oversee all real estate transactions in North Carolina? The answer is A, to provide affordable housing opportunities for low and moderate income residents. The North Carolina HFA aims to provide affordable housing opportunities for low and moderate income residents in North Carolina, promoting home ownership and rental assistance programs. Which program is offered by the North Carolina HFA to assist first-time homebuyers? Is it A, North Carolina Rental Assistance Program, B, North Carolina Home Advantage Mortgage, C, North Carolina Housing Tax Credit, or D, North Carolina Mortgage Relief Fund? The answer is B, North Carolina Home Advantage Mortgage. The North Carolina HFA offers the North Carolina Home Advantage Mortgage, which provides down payment assistance to first-time homebuyers, making it easier for them to purchase a home. What type of assistance does the North Carolina HFA provide to help with home repairs? Is it A, mortgage rate reduction, B, down payment assistance, C, essential single-family rehabilitation loan pool, or D, rental subsidy? The answer is C, essential single-family rehabilitation loan pool. The North Carolina HFA provides assistance through the Essential Single-Family Rehabilitation Loan Pool, which offers funds for critical home repairs to improve living conditions. How does the North Carolina HFA support the development of affordable rental housing? Is it A, by providing direct rental payments to tenants, B, by offering mortgage insurance for rental properties, C, by regulating rental prices statewide, or D, by offering tax credits and loans to developers? The answer is D, by offering tax credits and loans to developers. The North Carolina HFA supports affordable rental housing development through tax credits and loans, encouraging developers to build and maintain affordable housing units. Now, let's review North Carolina disclosure requirements and forms. North Carolina specific disclosure requirements. What is the primary purpose of the North Carolina Residential Property Disclosure Act? Is it A, to ensure buyers receive essential property condition information, B, to protect sellers from litigation, C, to regulate property prices, or D, to standardize real estate agent commissions? The answer is A, to ensure buyers receive essential property condition information. The North Carolina Residential Property Disclosure Act is designed to ensure that buyers receive essential information about the property's condition before making a purchase decision. Which form is required by North Carolina law for sellers to disclose material facts about their property? Is it A, Buyer's Acknowledgement Form, B, Residential Property Disclosure Statement, C, Environmental Hazard Report, or D, Seller's Financial Statement? The answer is B, Residential Property Disclosure Statement. The North Carolina Residential Property Disclosure Statement is legally required to ensure sellers disclose known material facts about the property to potential buyers. When must the North Carolina Residential Property Disclosure Statement be provided to the buyer? Is it A, after the closing date. B. At the time of closing. C. Before the buyer makes an offer. Or D. When the buyer moves in. The answer is C. Before the buyer makes an offer. The disclosure statement must be provided to the buyer before the buyer makes an offer to purchase, ensuring informed decision-making. What is the consequence if a seller fails to provide the North Carolina Residential Property Disclosure Statement? Is it A. The buyer must proceed with the purchase? B. The seller faces no consequences? C. The buyer receives a discount on the property? Or D. The buyer may cancel the contract or seek legal remedies? The answer is D. The buyer may cancel the contract or seek legal remedies. If the seller fails to provide the disclosure, the buyer may have the right to cancel the contract or pursue legal remedies, depending on the situation. Which parties are typically exempt from providing a North Carolina residential property disclosure statement? Is it A. Banks selling foreclosed properties? B. First-time home sellers? C. All property sellers? Or D. Real estate agents? The answer is A. Banks selling foreclosed properties. Certain parties, such as banks selling foreclosed properties or estate sales, are often exempt from providing a disclosure statement under North Carolina law. Commonly used North Carolina forms. Which of the following is a required disclosure form for sellers in North Carolina? Is it A. Lead-based paint disclosure? B. Residential Property and Owners Association Disclosure Statement? C. Environmental Impact Disclosure? Or D. Flood Zone Disclosure? The answer is B. Residential Property and Owners Association Disclosure Statement. The Residential Property and Owners Association Disclosure Statement is mandatory for sellers to provide to buyers. It outlines the condition of the property, ensuring transparency and informed decision-making. When must the mineral and oil and gas rights mandatory disclosure statement be provided to a buyer? Is it A. Before the buyer makes an offer to purchase? B. At the time of closing? C. After the buyer conducts a home inspection? Or D. When the buyer requests it? The answer is A. Before the buyer makes an offer to purchase. This disclosure must be provided before the buyer makes an offer to purchase. It informs buyers about any rights related to minerals, oil, and gas on the property. What information is not typically included in the North Carolina Residential Property Disclosure Statement? Is it A. Presence of structural issues? B. Condition of the roof? C. Functionality of major systems? Or D. Current mortgage rate? The answer is D. Current mortgage rate. The disclosure statement focuses on the physical condition of the property, not financial details like mortgage rates or payment history, which are irrelevant to the buyer's decision. Which form should be used to disclose potential lead-based paint hazards in a North Carolina property built before 1978? Is it A. Lead-based paint disclosure? B. Environmental hazard disclosure? C. Residential property disclosure? Or D. Asbestos hazard disclosure? The answer is A. Lead-based paint disclosure. The lead-based paint disclosure form is required for properties built before 1978 to inform buyers of potential lead hazards, ensuring compliance with federal regulations. Which form is used to notify buyers about the presence of synthetic stucco in a North Carolina property? Is it A. Residential Property Disclosure Statement? B. Mineral and oil and gas rights disclosure? C. Synthetic stucco addendum? Or D. Lead-based paint disclosure? The answer is C. Synthetic stucco addendum. The synthetic stucco addendum is used in North Carolina to disclose the presence of synthetic stucco, also known as exterior insulation and finish system, to potential buyers. Specific procedures for transactions. What is the primary purpose of the North Carolina Residential Property Disclosure Statement? Is it A, to inform buyers about the condition of the property? B, to assess the market value of the property? C, to establish the legal ownership of the property? Or D, to negotiate the price between buyer and seller? The answer is A, to inform buyers about the condition of the property. The North Carolina Residential Property Disclosure Statement is designed to inform buyers about the condition of the property, ensuring transparency and reducing disputes during real estate transactions. Which form must be provided to a buyer before the execution of a sales contract in North Carolina? Is it A, inspection report, B, home warranty agreement, C, mineral and oil and gas rights mandatory disclosure statement, or D, property survey? The answer is C, mineral and oil and gas rights mandatory disclosure statement. The mineral and oil and gas rights mandatory disclosure statement must be provided to buyers to disclose any rights related to minerals, oil, and gas that may affect the property. What is the consequence of failing to provide the residential property disclosure statement in North Carolina? Is it A, the seller is automatically fined? B, the buyer may cancel the transaction before closing? C, the property is immediately relisted? Or D, the seller must offer a discount? The answer is B, the buyer may cancel the transaction before closing. Sellers who fail to provide the disclosure statement may face legal consequences, including civil penalties, and buyers may have the right to cancel the transaction before closing. Under North Carolina law, when must a seller provide the lead-based paint disclosure to a buyer? Is it A, after the inspection period, B, during the closing process, C, when the buyer requests it, or D, before the execution of a sales contract? The answer is D, before the execution of a sales contract. The lead-based paint disclosure must be provided before a sales contract is executed for properties built before 1978, ensuring buyers are aware of potential lead hazards.
Thanks for joining us today. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, tips, and tricks. And don't forget to visit Birdsy.ai for complimentary study sessions with Birdsy, your AI-powered study partner.